Welcome to AK Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of Soul Land 3, Legend of the Dragon King Part 104. Without any delay, start explanation. We're facing a thunder beast. Yu Zhenyu exclaimed. As expected of the Spirit Pagoda. They have such a rare soul beast. Be careful everyone, we can't underestimate it. It's extremely quick, and its lightning is lethal. Before Yu Zhenyu could say any more, the thunder beast made its move. It whipped its crooked tail around, sending another bombardment of violet-blue lightning at Tang Wulin's team. Yuan and Yehui snorted as she strode forward. 3 purple soul rings appeared around her as a pair of pitch-black wings unfurled from her back. Inky darkness spread from her body, rapidly eating away at the surrounding light and swallowing up the blue-silver grass around them. It also engulfed every lightning bolt that shot toward them, soaking them up like a blighted fen. The darkness spread beyond the net of blue-silver grass, but it soon reached the boundary where electricity crackled in the air, and it stopped. By that point, Tang Wulin recovered from his numbness, and he commanded his blue-silver grass to shoot up toward the thunder beast. Yuan and Yehui launched herself into the air. Her second soul ring lit up and a violet blade of darkness appeared in her hand. She flew straight at the thunder beast, blade in hand. But at that moment, golden light burst at her side, a holy radiance that pushed back her darkness. Yu Zhenyu flew off as well, moving to the other side of the thunder beast to avoid Yuan and Yehui's aura of darkness. Doubt welled within the hearts of Tang Wulin and the others when they saw the clash of light and darkness. They were certain that the two would cancel each other out, but something even stranger happened. Both of their blades seemed to be drawn to the other, changing their courses mid-flight. Before they could even get anywhere near the thunder beast, they crashed into each other. Light and darkness came together, roiling, struggling, and an instant later, a booming shockwave tore through the air. Yuan and Yehui and Yu Jingyu extricated themselves from the clash, putting distance between each other, and yelled at the exact same time. "What the hell are you doing?" The rest of their teammates watched in stupefaction. It was like the attraction between yin and yang. Light and darkness could never coexist, but the truth was, light and darkness usually didn't behave like that when they came into contact with each other. This explosive clash occurred because they both had angelic martial souls, one holy and the other fallen. The two were destined to always stand opposite of one another. Their martial souls were so incompatible that, upon sensing the other's aura, they felt more inclined to target one another. They simply couldn't help themselves from doing so. While the two bickered with each other, the thunder beast transformed into a streak of lightning. It appeared 100 meters away, completely out of reach of Tang Wulin's blue-silver grass and wholly unscathed. Xie sprang into action. He understood that the thunder beast relied on its lightning attacks and nimbleness to dominate its opponents. As an agility-type soul master, it was his job to take it down. He sped forward like a wisp of ghostly fire, zigzagging toward the thunder beast, leaving afterimages in his wake. As he did, Gu unleashed a barrage of wind blades, sieging the thunder beast from all sides. No elements actually countered the lightning attribute, so they couldn't restrain it in that way. Lightning possessed both explosive might and frightening speed. It did have drawbacks, however, being more taxing on its user and not very suitable for defense. Tang Wulin calmly stayed back to guard Gu and Shu Lishi. Ever since the 9th trial, he realized that their opponents were far more intelligent than before. The Thunder Beast was a clear example of that. Strength itself was nothing to fear, but strength and intellect were a frightening combination. It was clear to him that this Thunder Beast was exceedingly clever. It didn't engage Xie in combat immediately, but chose to evade and draw him away from his companions first. Just thinking about what sort of schemes a soul beast could hatch left him terrified. Xie continued to chase after the thunder beast, and when he finally drew close, he used Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track to soar into the air and sent a light dragon blade slashing toward it. At that moment, he saw the panic in the thunder beast's eyes disappear, confidence taking its place within their amethyst depths. Not good. A ball of lightning 1 meter in diameter suddenly appeared between him and the thunder beast. Before he could react, it extinguished the light dragon blade with a flicker of electricity, then paralyzed Xie's body with another. Leaving him no time to recover, the Thunder Beast shot the ball of lightning at him. Its violet fury engulfed Xie's body and promptly burned it to ash. All of this happened too quickly. Xie had been lured too far away for anyone to reach him, even if they had taken action earlier. No one could save him. Xie! Tang Wulin screamed as he charged forward. However, to both his and the Thunder Beast's surprise, the lightning ball suddenly exploded in a burst of sparks. Amidst the crackle of electricity in the air, Xie fell to the ground. Wisps of smoke trailed from his body, which had been burnt black, and every hair on his body stood on end. Only then did Tang Wulin realize what happened. He used a shadow clone to escape at the last minute. It was just his clone that died. When he came face to face with the Thunder Beast's might, Xie realized that this was an opponent he couldn't handle by himself. Only by working as a team did they have a chance at seizing victory. But the Thunder Beast had reacted to Xie's reappearance too quickly. Before he could retreat, it sent another barrage of lightning at him. Xie used Shadow Dragon Storm to defend himself, and this time, the lightning strikes only numbed his body instead of sending daggers of searing pain into it. The fact that this Thunder Beast's cultivation was at the 5,000-year level made Tang Wulin's heart go cold with dread. He shot a strand of blue-silver grass out to wrap around Xie's waist, then dragged him back. Fortunately, Xie was still in one piece. Xie's entire body had been burnt black. Smoke rose from every inch of him. If he hadn't reacted in time and used Shadow Dragon Storm to defend himself, he would have been on the verge of death if not completely dead. Every single one of his muscles twitched rapidly, making it seem as if his body were trembling without end. Tang Wulin willed his blue-silver grass to wrap around the waists of Yuan and Yehui and Yu Jingyu and drag them back into their triangle formation. "I'm sorry," Ji Yu said from her place behind Tang Wulin. "We were too far from Xie just now. I can't teleport things at that distance." "It's not your fault," Tang Wulin said with steel in his voice. "On your guards, everyone." He slowly raised his hands, his blood essence flow beginning to reverse. For the first time since he gained it, Tang Wulin's third soul ring lit up. Due to his limited spiritual power, he couldn't use his blue-silver grass soul skills and reverse the flow of his blood essence at the same time. However, his third soul skill could activate independently, freeing him to prepare dragon shocks the heavens. Golden light gathered around Tang Wulin while a draconic roar rumbled from his body. The Thunder Beast flinched as the roar flooded over it, its ears suddenly perked ramrod straight. It scratched its cheeks anxiously, and its eyes began to wander, searching for its next target. Yet Yuan and Yehui and Yu Jingyu continued to glare at each other. "You idiot," shouted Yuan and Yehui. "Look what you did. If it weren't for you, I would have already killed that Thunder Beast." Yu Jingyu snorted in response. "Bullshit. How would you be able to kill it without my help? It's at the 5,000-year level. It's both fast and powerful. It's one of the beasts that stands near the peak. Don't you know why you never see 10,000-year Thunder Beasts? If it reached that level, it'd be too domineering. All of the other soul beasts kill it before it comes to that. That's why." He clearly had a deeper understanding of Thunder Beasts than Yuan and Yehui. Why yeah. That's right," said Xie. This Thunder Beast is really PP powerful. It's much more powerful than we are. Unless you have F5 soul rings and a powerful martial soul, killing it alone is impossible. "All of you be careful," said Tang Wulin. "Just wait for an opening." 100 meters away, the Thunder Beast smirked and whipped its tail, hurling a lightning bolt at them. It streaked across the room, closing the distance in the blink of an eye. Tang Wulin smiled as he watched the bolt approach. Golden light gathered around him and poured into a vine of blue-silver grass, causing it to grow rapidly and become as thick as a man's thigh. Scales sprouted from the vine as well. They quickly covered the vine, making it resemble an enlarged snake striking at its prey as it shot forward to meet the lightning bolt head-on. Lightning arced through the air, striking the golden serpentine grass in a burst of sparks. The grass's glow dimmed a bit, but it had more than enough energy to keep advancing. It continued to shoot toward the Thunder Beast, a deathly screech resounding within the hall. Is that gold light? Did Tang Wulin fuse gold light into the blue-silver grass? This was the first time anyone present had ever seen Tang Wulin's blue-silver grass behave like this, even Guu and Xie. Gold light whipped its tail and the grass behind it stood up straight. It took on a golden luster and began moving to form a gold snake of which gold light was the head. Below the snake, an enormous formation, a battle array, blazed into existence. Is that a spirit soul skill? Yuan and Yehui and Yu Jingyu asked in unison. Generally speaking, spirit souls could only assist their soul master indirectly. Some especially powerful spirit souls could actually participate in battle, of course, which was possible for the exceptional few who possessed both a strong martial spirit and a spirit soul capable of matching its strength. However, since all spirit souls started out relatively weak, a soul master would prioritize compatibility over strength when choosing a spirit soul. A spirit soul skill was the product of fusing a spirit soul with a soul skill, something that would normally only be possible with one second or third spirit soul. It would also require said spirit soul to be extremely compatible with the soul skill. Although spirit souls granted soul skills, in this particular situation, martial souls would first process the granted power. Spirit soul skills couldn't compare to soul fusion skills, but they were still far more powerful than ordinary soul skills. At this moment, gold light served as the heart of Tang Wulin's third soul skill, blue-silver golden array. Under gold light's control, Tang Wulin's vines could attack in more intelligent ways and display even greater strength. Gold light had completely changed from when Tang Wulin first got it. It was originally a defective spirit soul only capable of granting a single weak soul skill. But with Tang Wulin, it grew. Under the influence of Tang Wulin's bloodline, and after absorbing a wealth of spirit energy, it ascended and grew to what it was today. However, in the end, Tang Wulin's Golden Dragon King bloodline had influenced gold light the most. All snakes possessed a sliver of draconic blood in them. A defective spirit soul like gold light possessed an infinitesimally small amount of draconic blood, yet Tang Wulin's Golden Dragon King bloodline was that of a peak-level dragon. Simply being fused to Tang Wulin constantly exposed gold light to a supreme bloodline, gradually transforming it over time. Wang Jinci had also received many benefits from the Golden Dragon King bloodline when he cultivated with Tang Wulin, but gold light's transformation was completely beyond that. This was especially true after Tang Wulin broke the third seal and poured the blood essence he couldn't handle into gold light. Its body had grown by yet another level and now possessed formidable combat strength. Tang Wulin's blue-silver golden array only became like this because gold light initially couldn't grant Tang Wulin 3 soul skills. This particular soul skill came into existence through the combined factors of the Golden Dragon King bloodline's influence, gold light becoming a 1,000-year spirit soul, and Tang Wulin's blue-silver grass mutating. This was Tang Wulin's first time using this soul skill. It wasn't that he didn't want to use it earlier. He just hadn't quite grasped its power yet, and he didn't have any chances to test it beforehand because he had focused solely on forging alloys instead of gaining combat experience. Another boom rang out as the golden snake formed by the blue-silver golden array dispersed yet another bolt of lightning. This infuriated the thunder beast, and it summoned a lightning bolt that pulsed with power that was far greater than before. In the next instant, it descended upon the giant snake. The lightning bolt struck the snake, sending electricity surging across its glittering golden scales and through every grassy vine, but the grass simply went erect and spread the electricity into the air. Now a curtain of lightning lingered around the grass snake. What? Elemental guidance. Guu gaped. Elemental guidance was a powerful ability that allowed a certain amount of control over every element. Guu could tell that elemental guidance was a passive ability of the blue-silver golden array. This meant that as long as Tang Wulin didn't face an overwhelming assault, he could simply shrug off elemental attacks using the blue-silver golden array. He could just scatter any elemental attacks like dust in the wind. Lightning continued to pour through the air, rumbling booms filling the hall as electricity soaked blue-silver grass. The barrage grew more and more intense as the thunder beast continued to rage at how well the grass snake weathered its attacks. Soon enough, dark thundering clouds filled the hall, continuously smiting the blue-silver golden array. Everyone stood inside of the array, staring at the spectacle in shock. Tang Wulin himself was no exception. There was no way any of them could withstand such electrical might on their own. Even if they all worked together, they would have had to pull out all of their reserved strength to survive the attack, and probably would have been crippled in the process. The Thunder Beast had gone berserk and its speed had increased several times over. After clearing 9 floors and entering the second level of trials, the difficulty had ramped up. Now their only chance at passing this trial was for Tang Wulin to use his blue-silver-golden array to exhaust all of the Thunder Beast's soul power. Yet that could hardly be called a victory. Gold light continued to glare up at the stormy clouds, hissing its defiance. Lightning continued to flood the blue-silver grass, but each bolt that did was drawn out by elemental guidance, and electricity continued to build up and shroud the grass. The array gradually turned violet-blue, and the area completely became saturated with crackling energy. Tang Wulin's soul power reserves declined rapidly, but compared to the Thunder Beast, his rate of consumption was much lower. It was far easier to defend and disperse the potency of the lightning bolts than it was to summon them. What shocked him, however, was that his blood essence slowly depleted along with his soul power. He now realized that his blue-silver-golden array had some connection to his bloodline, which most likely stemmed from Gold Light acting as the heart of the soul skill. Gold Light's hissing grew louder and louder, and although none of Tang Wulin's team understood what it meant, its arrogance was extremely apparent. This led everyone to the realization that it was sneering at the Thunder Beast. Shivers ran down Xie's spine. Even Boss's spirit soul is as two-faced as him. Boss, Gold Light just isn't a suitable name for it. The name doesn't do it justice at all. Look at how much it likes to hiss. Why don't you change its name to Chatterbox? Guu glared at Xie as she slapped the back of his head. You're the Chatterbox. Ever since the day Guu beat him, he no longer found himself able to muster even an ounce of defiance toward her. He zipped his mouth shut and lowered his head in embarrassment. How about calling it Gold Song? Guu said with a thoughtful smile on her face. Isn't that just a nicer way of calling it a chatterbox? Tang Wulin asked helplessly. At that moment, Gold Light turned around and yelped at Guu. The difference between how it regarded the Thunder Beast and Guu was clear. It was practically fawning over her. See? It likes the name, Guu said, nodding earnestly at Tang Wulin. Let's call it Gold Song from now on. Tang Wulin resigned himself. All right, fine. He always felt that Gold Light had been too simple of a name anyway. Gold Song was definitely a more pleasant name to say. Then it shall henceforth be known as Gold Song. Little did they know that Gold Song would become a name known and revered by all, once Tang Wulin rose to prominence in the future. After Gold Song's renaming, the barrage of lightning began to weaken. The forest of lightning that filled the sky grew thinner, and soon enough, the Thunder Beast's visage could clearly be seen. Lightning snaked from its body, its face wreathed in fury and its pupils now vertical slits. It no longer summoned bolts lightning, but instead gathered violet-blue electricity into its body. This voltaic energy now held a hint of gold, and a moment later, the Thunder Beast transformed into an enormous ball of lightning. Did it stop caring about its own life? Yuan and Yehue stepped forward, taking the lead. Be careful, everyone. Use your Titan Giant Ape Soul, shouted Tang Wulin. Yuan and Yehue nodded in understanding. She had twin martial souls while Yu Jingyu only had the Holy Angel. In order to keep their martial souls from clashing, she had to switch to her Titan Giant Ape martial soul. A third soul ring appeared around Yuan and Yehue and her body swelled with strength, her clothes ripping apart until only the skin-tight, highly elastic outfit she wore underneath remained. She roared and swung her gigantic arms around, her aura flaring up, and only then did Tang Wulin realize why Yuan and Yehue always disguised herself as a boy. A girl transforming into a Titan Giant Ape truly wasn't a pretty sight. Yuan and Yehue immediately activated her third soul skill, Diamond Titan. It was a formidable soul skill that temporarily boosted her physical strength by an obscene amount. Only with this skill could she truly be considered strong when using her Titan Giant Ape martial soul. Without warning, the sky warped for an instant, making everyone's vision blur. The golden violent ball of lightning shot toward Gold Song. However, Gold Song showed no fear and instead wielded the blue-silver golden array at full power. With a flick of its tail, the entire array grew brighter and golden strands of grass shot up into the sky. The grass twisted as it spread upward, forming a giant whirlpool that sucked in the lightning. In a strange turn of events, the swiftly approaching lightning ball suddenly slowed down once the blue-silver golden array surrounded it. From the outside, Tang Wulin and the others could see the whirlpool of grass draining the lightning from the ball of energy. Gu stared at the blue-silver golden array, too shocked to even prepare her own attack. Gold Song hadn't used elemental guidance. That only worked when an elemental attack struck it. No, Gold Light was using elemental stripping, a stronger form of elemental guidance. This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.